Now, we've tracked down former speed car great of the 60s and 70s, Sid Middlemass. Sid, welcome to NASA's World of Speedway.
Thanks very much, Wade.
Brand new car for Craig Brady sitting behind you, very different to the cars that you ran. When did you start racing?
Oh, in the 60s, at 1962.
Okay. What got you into racing?
Well, I worked at a mechanical workshop over in Eastwood, and a chap called Ray Kello, who was the secretary of the Speed Car Club at the time, was a rep for Repco. He called in and we got talking, and I ended up going to a club meeting and I ended up joining the club.
Okay. Back then, fearless, ferocious days when men quite often didn't come home from the racetrack, wasn't that ever that element of danger that made you think, well, do I really want to do this?
Not really. We knew what the danger was there in the speed cars, but every Saturday night I'd go to the Speedway with my wife and children, and I'd kiss them goodbye because I didn't know whether I was going to come back out the gate again, but it never worried us. You might think about it for a while, but as soon as the flag fell and the race was on, you were there just trying to win a race.
You're part of racing folklore now. Those were incredible days. Lenny Brocks, Johnny Stewart's, Jeff Freeman's, people of that ilk. You must look back fondly on those days.
Yeah, I do. They were all great friends of mine, and so a lot of those people are not with us anymore. But they were great days and great friendships we had. We were fierce competitors on the racetrack, but we were also very good friends socially.
What were some of the names you admired the most in terms of racing against? I mean, guys like Tattersall and McGavin and people like that, are they names that probably...
Yeah, they were all good competitors. Tattersall, coming from America, he was, well, the best import that we had come into the country. But all the drivers in Australia, like the Stewarts and the Freemans and the Marshalls and Johnny Peers and the Len Brocks, and you know, I can go on, but they were all good competitors and just as good to race against as racing against an American.
In terms of safety, you had just a belt that went across your waist in most cases. It seemed the cars used to throw you around a lot. I noticed that the body style of some of the guys driving. Was it a physical game?
Yeah, it was pretty physical. We didn't have power steering in those days, but we only had a lap belt to hold us in the car. Then we had a belt which we called like a shoulder harness, which clipped over onto the left side of the car, which with centrifugal force through the corners helped to hold your body up. Then you weren't trying to hold your body and your neck at the same time. It was a great strain on you, but the cars were different. They were pretty strong and pretty hard to drive at sometimes, but the cars were, well, just all the same.
Did the cars have a little bit more character back then, perhaps, to how they are today? Because now you're talking about mostly fully imported machines. Back then you were racing a Volvo, there were BMWs, there were Offies. Was there a bit more character, do you think? Oh,
there were, because the cars of that era were all built by mechanics and engineers in their own workshops, and owners of cars who work for a boss might put their money together and build a car at home in the garage with a little old Able arc welder and an oxy plant. The cars of today, they all look the same, they're all the same chassis, they've all got body styles the same, but the cars of that era were sort of unique, that you could try and build your car and make it look a little different to something else.
Well, knowing what you know now, Sid, about the safety that's involved in this sport, and all these young guys that are racing are a whole lot safer than they used to be, would you do it the same way?
Yeah, I'd have done it the same way. I think that the era that I went through was the greatest era of Speedway in Australia.
What do you do these days?
I'm retired.
Yeah, but you still get behind the wheel of that race car, don't you? Because it's been restored now.
Yeah, I belong to the Vintage Speed Car Association of New South Wales, and we have something like 100-odd members in that club and about 70 cars, all in parts of, being restored. But my car is fully restored, been restored now for about 10 years, and I still get behind it for spirited demonstrations. We don't race, but we spiritedly...
You get on the gas.
Yeah, I get on the gas.
You can't help yourself, can you?
No, not really.
Sid Middlemass, thank you for being part of Where Are They Now on NASA's World of Speedway, and make sure you keep hanging around the scene.
Oh, I will. I thank you for coming on to the show, but I'd like to see a lot more people come to the Speedway, and these types of shows would encourage people to come along.